this is Manindrabu from Batam. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Sela Sadakau from Vatukola. I only listen to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold Benaka, I'm Vale and I'm working at Golden Grove Resort, and I love listening to Gold FM because it plays a really wide range of classic music.
I'm Saini Sakio from Kashmir Wotoka. I like Gold FM, but only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade. This is FBC News. Tonight, fees waived for rural water scheme. Rehabilitation work completed at Raki Muslim Primary School. And Fiji Airways staff to receive bonus. People living in rural communities will no longer have to pay fees for water connections. The government has waived the 10% contribution that used to be paid by these communities under the Rural Water Scheme. Savara Tamboa has more.
$7 million has been allocated for the Rural Water Scheme to allow more Fijians to benefit from clean water supply. More than 90 rural communities who have paid their 10% contribution to receive water will be refunded.
What will happen now is communities will probably seek assistance for water supply systems to be built in their communities. We will then have to prioritize based on the amount of funding that we have. Because obviously, if we have 100 requests but we have only money to do 30, we will then have to prioritize and finalize a list of 30 to be implemented.
Opetarabai says even though funding has been made available, they will scrutinize applications before the water system will be installed.
We're able to do about 30 or 40 projects, depending again on the cost of each project. But what we'll do going forward is the allocation we get, we will spend it on X number of projects based on the cost per project, but the total has got to be within that allocation that we receive.
Rabai has advised communities to set up water committees in their respective areas if they want to benefit under the scheme. He says those who have already made the 10% contributions also need a committee to get their reimbursements. Those without committees will not be able to benefit with the new arrangements. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
Over 150 students of Raki Muslim Primary School will now study in normal classrooms sooner than expected. FBC News visited the school this morning and saw firsthand the rehabilitation works carried out by the Australian Defence Force and the Republic of the Fiji Military Forces. Ali Kimbia has more.
The hard work put together by the Australian Defence Force and the Republic of the Fiji Military Forces has brought smiles to students, teachers and...
I feel overwhelmed when I saw them in the school on Thursday, that was 6 days back when they came to our school, to see them that, they will be the ones that will be repairing. And they were very fast in the work. It took them close to 6 days to get it all patched up.
For the Australian Defence Force, it's all about doing whatever they can to help students resume normal classes.
Apart from that, the guys have been doing a really good job out here. They've been working real hard along with the RFMF and have been enjoying every little bit of it and learning a lot as they have been going along.
We've replaced the roof that covers 3 classrooms on the upper level of the school, and we've also rebuilt 2 internal walls.
The roof of the school was completely blown off during Tropical Cyclone Winston, but with the assistance of the Australian Forces and the Republic of Fiji Military Forces, they've managed to put together the roof within a span of 1 week. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
All eligible non-managerial staff and employees of Fiji Airways and Fiji Link will receive $3,500 bonus each this year. This after the airline announced a before-tax profit of $70.2 million for the 2015 financial year. Ellen Stolz has the story.
The new record by the national carrier, which is an increase of more than 15% in profit from last year, was announced yesterday by the Minister for Civil Aviation, Ayaz Said Kayum.
This is completely unprecedented. You are the only company in Fiji that actually has the staff share in the profits that the company actually generates. And indeed, we use you as a benchmark, and when we do talk to other state-owned enterprises, we always talk about how they could become like Fiji Airways.
Syed Bium says with the launch of the Singapore and San Francisco routes, opportunities to grow has enhanced further. And he urged all staff and cabin crew present at the announcement yesterday not to be complacent, but to focus on the new challenges that lie ahead.
We want Fiji Airways and the board to invest in you, to get you the right training, to develop your individual skill sets, for you to be able to not just be a self-fulfilling, self-satisfying employees of the organization, but also to be able to get the best out of you to contribute to the organization. So that is the focus, ladies and gentlemen.
Praising the staff for their efforts, the minister says it was because of their hard work that the airline's revenue surpassed $815 million in 2015 compared to $767.4 million in 2014. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
A proper building code will now be used when schools affected by TC Winston will be rebuilt to ensure sustainability and durability. This was revealed by the Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama as he continues his tour of the cyclone-affected areas in Vanua Level. Eleanor Tarangai reports.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama says school structures that will now be built will have to follow a proper building standard being put together by the Fiji Institute of Engineers.
From now onwards, schools will not be built anyhow. The Fiji Institute of Engineers have been working voluntarily to help the government carry out assessments on the damage to infrastructure after Tropical Cyclone Winston. They will then give advice on what needs to be done before a school is built.
Speaking to the people of Naweni in the Kaunrobe yesterday, Bainimarama says only certified and quality engineers and contractors will be used by government to rebuild homes, given Fiji's vulnerability to natural disasters.
So that means if any other government would like to construct any schools like Australian government, they will refer to the assessment done by the Fiji Institute of Engineers and will follow their instructions.
Government is also working hard to make sure that building materials sold and purchased for the construction phase of Tropical Cyclone Winston are up to standard.
Before a group of people could just construct a building whenever they wish to, as a result, it is easily destroyed when such natural disasters happen. But now only companies that are registered and published in the dailies, those are the ones that will be responsible for building schools.
Meanwhile, with donations and assistance flowing in from overseas countries and organizations, the Prime Minister has urged the people not to abuse this help. Eleanor Tarangai, FBC News.
A Fiji-born Australian citizen who police say confessed to killing her 14-month-old daughter did not appear in court after concerns on her mental state and a risk of self-harm was raised. 22-year-old Sophia Nikat was due to front the Melbourne Magistrates Court today, charged with murdering Sanaya Sahib. Still to come on FBC News, more Fijians can expect jobs in New Zealand. And Nadi business rolls to a slow start. Stay with us.
Golvina, we have so long. Jubini Tabua. Do tell me about the wrong na Bull FM no mando na se.
Bula narango ulemila o ngo ngai Nadi ando talitak na barong na Bull FM number 2 na ser.
Bula nango pene lo toka do talitak na barong na Bull FM number 2 na ser.
Nimbula narango o anawaite webata ena kasi ando barong na Bull FM number 2 na ser.
Bull FM number 2 na ser.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. More Fijians can expect jobs under the recognised seasonal workers scheme in New Zealand. Employment Minister Semi Koroi-Lavisau concluded a week-long tour to New Zealand to discuss the scheme's future, as well as to get a first-hand report from workers. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Remittances are one of the key factors for Fiji's economic growth. In 2015, the ADB reported personal remittances increased by more than 28%. And with the New Zealand government increasing their demand for seasonal workers, 2016 could see new records.
The New Zealand government this year has raised the cap for the total number of RSE workers in the country in a year to 9,500. It's probable that we'll reach that cap, but within that cap that provides plenty of space for Fiji to take advantage of that and send more people down.
Employment Minister Semi Korlavisau was in New Zealand last week to assess the scheme's progress.
We've resolved that they will provide us the programs of work and also provide us with videos. They are also willing to come down and show our workers in the work credit pool the work that is involved in the New Zealand farms.
While the pilot program was a success, Korlavisau says there are areas that need to be improved for the workers' benefit.
To understand what the requirements are, and we translate that to the workers that are going overseas to ensure that they understand what the contracts that they are signing and what they are getting themselves into.
93 Fijians are currently working under the RSE, with plans to send more in the coming months. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
39-year-old Choso Dolonandolu, charged with 5 counts of rape, appeared before Suva High Court Judge Justice Alesi Temo. He committed the offence on different occasions in 1998, 2002, 2012 and 2016. Dolonandolu is also charged with the murder and abduction of 14-year-old Mere Alievu of Diumba. Judge Temo pointed out that one of the files of the accused was referring to him as Ratu Chosoa Dolonandolu. He says in a court of law, a Ratu or a commoner are equal and people must leave their traditional titles outside the courtroom. Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions Lee Burney made an application to consolidate the charges against Dolonandolu, which has been granted. The case has been stood down for 21 days to serve and respond to legal documents. Dolonandolu has been remanded in custody and the case will be called for mention on the 6th of May. Business rolls to a slow start in the jet-set town following the bout of flooding experienced in the Western Division last week. While all has returned to normal, business owners say it will take time before sales pick up. Madhyum Bolaitamana reports.
This time last week, Nadi town had already been inundated by floodwaters twice already. Today, the jet-set town is back to business, but there are a few things that are amiss.
Very hard for us to arrange staff early in the morning. Like the water level was just rising and we had to ask staff to come as soon as possible, and that's where we managed to save all of our stock. And like during these times we had our stock take sale and the stock take sale was really good.
While some have had to pick up the pieces from the flash floods, this sports outlet along Main Street attributes the safeguarding of its stocks to the Weather Office and its timely warnings.
We are not really affected from the previous flood because our shop is a bit raised, but we are advised to pack all the stuff and take it upstairs. But right now, business is back to normal.
Last weekend, a cruise ship berthed at Port Ndenarau. However, business were unable to reap the benefits as in the past.
It happened like actually these tourists never wanted to come down to the store for shopping. When the buses came to our show, like the tourists said, no, we do not want to do the shopping, and then they have to leave. So all these things are really affecting our business.
The hope for many businesses here in the jet-set town is that when the cyclone season ends, business will pick up. Madhyum Bolaitamana, FBC News.
The New Zealand Defence Force is expected to complete their relief work in Fiji following Cyclone Winston by the end of this week. The New Zealand contingent, based on the New Zealand ship the Canterbury, have been working in Vanuatu. New Zealand High Commissioner to Fiji Mark Ramsden says the troops have fixed a lot of infrastructure on the island. However, some of them needs further permanent fixing.
We hope that we're going to have continuity between the fantastic work that the New Zealand Defence Force and New Zealand Fire Service and medical assistance teams have done. We hope that that's going to move seamlessly into some longer term reconstruction projects.
More than 400 troops have been in the country for 2 months now, carrying out post-cyclone relief operations. Another film shot locally was launched in Suva today. Feeling Lucky is set to hit the big screen soon. 70% of the film was shot in different locations in Fiji, providing great exposure. 80 locals have helped in the making of the film. The comedy thriller, directed by Devesh Pratap Singh and produced by Dreams Productions, is sure to connect with locals.
It is actually truly a paradise on earth. We have traveled the length and breadth of the country, and we are absolutely amazed and astonished every time we see a new location, and every time we meet people. They're just so welcoming.
The DVD launch for an earlier movie also shot in Fiji named Urban Turban was also part of today's event. And on that note, Vashniel is next with sports.
Thank you, Jackie. Coming up in sports, Fiji Sevens team settles down well in Singapore. 3 schools in the maritime zone to be part of the Coke Games.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka, and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening. The Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has confirmed he will make 5 changes to the 12-member squad for the Singapore Sevens. The replacement players and the duo who missed out the Hong Kong Sevens will be in action in the inaugural tournament in the weekend. Edwin Nand reports.
Day 1 in Singapore, and the Fiji Sevens team is in high spirits, focused on the job at hand. For coach Ben Ryan, the Singapore Sevens tournament is also a chance to bring in fresh legs.
Saturday, the ref has gone back. He had a slight strain on his hamstring, so we're resting him this weekend. PO2I, slight strain on his elbow, so he's getting rested. And Isaki Katonebao's played every game for all season, just felt that he just needed to be rested as well. So those 3 have gone home, and they've been replaced by Namani Nangusa, Emosi Muravuro, and Alif Ferretti Fatikani. So those 3 come in, and obviously Seven Movan Nathangi and Josh Visi also weren't playing last weekend, and they'll all play. So 5 will come in, and then 2 of the guys that are here will miss out.
It's still early days out of the Hong Kong leg, and most of the players are only just starting to recover. But Ryan is already settled on some big changes to the run-on team.
I'll have a look. We've got a few knocks and niggles from the weekend, but we're only 36 hours after the final, so I'll give boys another day or so to see how they are for their injuries. But no, I mean, half the squad's going to have to change.
We're outside the Pan Pacific Hotel in Singapore, where the Fiji team is staying. The hotel is home to all 16 teams competing in the Singapore Sevens tournament for the duration of the competitions. It's Tuesday afternoon Singapore time, and the Fiji team, after a tiring flight from Hong Kong, is currently in a gym session. Edwin Nand, FBC Sports.
Fireworks are expected in the Fiji-beaten Awaka Sevens in Nadi this weekend. This is as top local teams battle it out for the $12,000 prize money, including a Brisbane Fijian side from Australia. Chaledo Dhaka has more.
Through to Malakaviwa.
Prince Charles Park is about to come to life on Friday and Saturday as the Fiji-beaten Awaka Sevens gets underway.
Like a little rabbit.
We have Army Green, Army Red that has confirmed. Red Rock is coming over. Westfield, Yamavia, Westfield Dragons, and Yamavia. We have Ratu Felice, Coastal Transfer, Ratu Felice 1 and Ratu Felice 2. They're bringing in 2 teams across this year.
The Brisbane Australians will be the lone overseas team in the competition, featuring former Wallabies rep Randike Samo.
We're grateful that Randike Samo could bring a team over. They've actually jutted into the country yesterday. Randike Samo is bringing in the Brisbane Fijians. And yes, very good team from what I've heard. And yes, we look forward to watching one of our very own icon, still playing the game and still enjoying himself.
It's expected to be a thrilling contest in Nadi for local rugby fans, and only time will tell which team will come out victorious when the dust settles at Prince Charles Park. Talent of the Kavaka, FBC Sports.
The Nadi football team is once again under the spotlight after yet another ugly showing at the Oceania Confederation Champions League match. This is after Nadi picked up 3 red cards out of 6 dished out against Kiwi FC. In today's matches, Amicale held Solomon Warriors to a 1-1 draw in the Group A encounter, while Auckland City secured a 2-1 hard-fought victory against Ley City Dwellers a while ago. Meanwhile, Suva next plays AS Losi at 1 p.m. on Saturday, while Nadi will face AS Magenta at 1 p.m. on Friday, and you can watch this match live on FBC TV. While 3 schools from the Maritime Zone confirming their participation for the Coca-Cola Games, organizing committee is pleading others to hand in their entries by tomorrow. The schools in the Maritime Zone are set to get a direct leap to the Coca-Cola Games. Schools from Ngau, Yasawa and Rotuma have confirmed their participation.
Cancellation has already come from Koro. As you know, that Koro was one of those islands badly affected by the cyclone. So those are the only 3 schools that I know that are coming in for the Maritime Zone.
The officials are now pleading some major zones to give in their final entries by tomorrow.
I've got Suva 1, Suva 2. I've got both the Madhuwata entries. I've got the Triple N. I've got the Obalau one. I've got Ra. I've got Nandi.
Good news, Ra and Tavyuni zone will be part of the Coke Games. The officials will be finalizing the entries by Friday.
We are now running out of time. We need things to be done here. Some logistics have got to be done before the Coke Games.
Participation from schools this year is a concern. However, organizers are anticipating an action-filled 3-day event. The Coca-Cola Games will be held from 28th to 30th of this month. That's all from sports. Good evening.
The Women in Business will hold its annual Business Awards next month as the event was delayed due to tropical cyclone Winston. President Dr. Nirbano Ali says the awards are usually held in March to coincide with the International Women's Day. However, they decided not to hold any event until Fiji was in recovery mode. Dr. Ali says 2 months have passed and they feel it is the right time to recognize the efforts and achievements of women.
I also wish to acknowledge the many women who mobilized efforts very quickly after the cyclone and ventured out to assist our fellow Fijians. This is the natural ability of women to care and assist and provide support, and this very attribute in women makes them great leaders.
The event will be held at the GPH Hotel in Suva with 4 categories of awards up for grabs. Rain was experienced over most places today. A frontal system with associated cloud and rain remains slow-moving over the group. In temperatures, Nadi recorded the highest temperature of 32 degrees. Lautoka was on 31. Bai and Lambasa experienced 30, while Suva and Savu were the lowest on 28. Forecast to midnight for tomorrow is occasional rain over Vanua Levu, Tavyuni and nearby smaller islands, Lomaiviti and the Lau Group. The eastern and interior parts of the other larger islands, isolated heavy falls and thunderstorms are expected. And the further outlook is for Friday. It's rain and few thunderstorms over most places with rough seas. Recapping the main stories for tonight, government waives 10% contribution paid by communities under the Rural Water Scheme. Over 150 students of Raki Muslim Primary School will now study in normal classrooms, and more Fijians can expect jobs under the recognised seasonal worker scheme in New Zealand. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. On to the poll question for this week. We are asking, are there too many fake online boutiques in operation? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Bye for now.
मैं उमरान खान गुरबो तालेबू के
जैसे फेस्टिवल ए ग्रेड है करवो में, उसी तरह मिर्ची FM नंबर 1 है करवो में।
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची FM को लॉक कर दिया जाए। मिर्ची FM इट्स हॉट।
हम नकाशी से साइमान है, हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची FM नंबर 1 है।
माय नेम इज दिनेश, हम नैनी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जायंट जिपलाइन में, और मिर्ची FM इज हॉट, आई लाइक इट।
मिर्ची FM, it's hot.